learning outcomes are equivalent, as I said before. So thanks to the application of ECTS by the vast majority of European universities, the students can easily transfer their credits and continue education in other countries of the European Union, as well as in some other affiliated universities in the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and some other countries. Maybe is there any in the audience that has studied in different universities or in different countries and is familiar with this system of transferring ECTS credits? Can you tell me? No? Okay. Susan is typing something. So Susan studied something in Boston but has not transferred the credit. I'm asking if any one of you has studied in different countries or in different institutions and has transferred the ECTS credits. Okay, so some of you have, but some of you haven't. Okay, so you should know that you can try to do it. If you've studied in different institutions, even in your own country or in different countries, you can transfer the ECTS credits, or you should can transfer it. But this transferability of credits is not only for formal students. People often possess valuable competences acquired outside the higher education institutions through work, through life experience, informal recreation, and other non-formal types of learning activities, such as non-assessed short courses. Not all competences must be obtained through formal learning, and if students have achieved learning outcomes in other learning contexts or time frames, like non-formal or informal experiences, there's no reasons why they should not benefit from the transparency and recognitions which institutions can provide by using ECTS after following the appropriate assessment. And I think that's the cornerstone of the problem, the assessment of those competences achieved in non-formal or informal contexts. So, to validate non-formal or informal learning, the higher education institutes can put in place different forms of assessment than those used for learners enrolled in the formal program. You don't need to do an exam or something like that. There are a lot of things that you can do in your institutions to validate those competences. But once attainment of the learning outcomes is showed, the number of credits awarded to the learner should be the same as the number of credits allocated to formal education components with comparable learning outcomes. So, as I put in this example in the slide, so previous experience in working as a cook can be awarded the same ECTS allocated to a formal course about gastronomy and cooking skills, and then maybe you can skip some module in a bachelor program or in a master. It depends on how the educational program is done and planned in the institution. So, in my university, we do give ECTS to non-formal learning and to work experience. So, what we ask the students that are applying for this recognition is to bring us evidence of all the things that they've done or the activities they've done. We will ask them to bring us a portfolio with evidence of the courses they've done. And then we will ask them to write a report in where they show what they know, what they do know, and what they can do. And so we compare this to the learning outcomes of our former courses, and then we see if they can be equivalent. And sometimes they're exactly, and then we will give them the ECTS, the same ECTS of our former courses. And if they are not exact, maybe we can give them part of this ECTS. It's something common we do too. So by recognizing the non-formal and informal learning, the social dimension of higher education institution is strengthened, and HAY should facilitate access to the learning already engaged in professional life, and then we will contribute to make lifelong learning a reality, really. So Freud is asking in the difference in non-formal and informal learning. What we mean with non-formal is learning is the the things you learn in courses outside the academic institutions. That's it. Maybe in the courses made by scientific foundations or in dietetic associations. These kinds of courses you do outside the universities or the college, university college. But informal learning, what we mean is the things you learn through your work, uh, maybe writing a report or talking with your college or in well, the things you do in your surroundings. Is that more clear? Okay. So we sometimes do that. Okay, so we sometimes recognize non-formal and informal experience, but we must be truth, and the higher education institutions do not easily award ECTS credit to lifelong learning activities outside the academic world. And maybe they do, in but always in an individual level to a given a specific person on demand for a specific program. But there's not a standard process. There's not a transparent process really for doing that in most of the higher education institutions. And I suppose the problem is the assessment. Many courses offered by non-academic institutions do not have any kind of assessment, and lifelong learning, and higher education institutions don't have a confidence that the persons really have these learning outcomes that they are asking for. And there's a lack of human and material resources in the higher education institutions to assess the learning outcomes that the people are asking. I'm sorry, to assess the lifelong learning activities that people are asking for. So the cornerstone really is to prove that you've got these learning outcomes and that you are asking for this ECTS that you really want to have. And I don't want, it's really difficult to prove that. So I don't want to lose this opportunity to talk to you about the toolkit with our work group is doing. We are making a toolkit for dietitians. It's nearly really done. And the main aim of this toolkit is it's to make easier for dietitians to recall informations about the lifelong learning. I think as I'm saying, this toolkit it's aimed to make it easier for dietitians to recall all the lifelong learning activities that they do and to prove what they have learned and how their competences have been improving by doing these lifelong learning activities. And so they can use this toolkit to ask for and to claim for the ECTS they deserve. And we hope that the higher education institutions will be more not so reluctant to give the dietitians this ECTS they are claiming. So for ending this webinar, I would like you to take the chance uh, for dietitians to plan your career and your future specialization, to move on to go from 6 level to 7 level, and to ask for those ECTS that you can claim because of your work experience or for all those non-formal learning that you've got. For those who work in national or have contact with national dietetic associations, to think about cooperation with higher education institutions to make it easier for them to recognize your courses. And for those who work in the higher education institutions, to think about how lifelong courses and experience from work life may contribute to your study program and how these lifelong competences can be recognized. I think we think that governments should establish strategies for lifelong learning and encourage their university to open their doors to non-traditional and part-time learners and offer more courses for continuous professional development. Catering for new types of learners requires a fundamental rethinking of how courses are designed and delivered. New learners may not possess all formal requirements for entry into higher education, but they may have acquired the necessary knowledge, skills, and competences through self-study or work. More should be done to integrate these potential students into higher education. Institutions are encouraged to publish their policies and practices for the recognition of non-formal or informal learning prominently on their websites, and these policies should include elements such as feedback to learners on the result of the assessment of the possibility for learners to appeal. So the process should be more transparent, really. Institutions are also encouraged to create assessment facilities for counseling on and recognition on non-formal and informal learning, and to offer more tailor-made programs to non-traditional learners. So thank you very much. And now it's time for you to participate, and we will put you some questions, and maybe we can share our ideas. So, do HACE in your country acknowledge ECTS, so lifelong learning courses offered by other institutions? Can you please tell us? Can you please tick on the yes, no, or maybe you're unsure? So, uh, we have got 5 participants, so you all answered, and I see you're not sure. Okay, so 40 is a yes. Well, the really you should. I mean, hey, should be give ECTS to all the lifelong courses done by other high education institutions. The problem, as I said, maybe it's with the non-formal courses. Okay, so maybe we can move. Yeah, of course, individually they do. But in fact, if it comes from another university in the Bologna, they should give you this ECTS. Do high education institutions in your country acknowledge ECTS for non-life for life? Sorry, I'm keeping problems with my computer. Uh, okay, so do they give ECTS to non-formal lifelong learning activities? I say no. Okay, so we have to ask why, really. Oh, most of you do say so. Huh? We don't know, really, in your countries how that much. Maybe you just type in. Oh, she says that they need our tools. I hope really that our tool will be useful in this. Okay, so let's go through the move to the third questions. So if you don't, I'm quite sure that if you are not sure that they give ECTS for non-formal, then the informal will be really the same. So do you think giving ECTS to all lifelong learning activities in Europe will be useful? Can be useful? Yes. Okay. But we only have two answers. Three now, four, and five. Yes, I think we are all in the same idea. And now I'm giving you another. How can we do that? How can you help higher education institutions to do that? Maybe you've got any idea? Because so Fro said, as you said, the most important thing is to be sure that the learning outcomes is met. Yeah, that's the problem, really. But maybe I work in a higher education institution, and I think that we do have a lack of confidence, and that's not fair, really. There's a lot of good courses there, and we should have more confidence in what others do, really. So, would you? Okay, a lot of things here. So, would we do with students who study with the complete another regular, yeah, and work experience. This means individual and yeah. Yes, of course, it's always difficult and to assess in general, but we can really do it. Yeah, the problem I think is that we have to make it very transparent. Okay, everybody should know how we do really transfer those ECTS, even individually, so that all people knows what we are doing and how we are really giving this ECTS to that particular person or to that particular course. It's very important to be very transparent in our work, especially in this. Yeah, and there's some more fruits tipping. Yeah. No, this is make it more difficult, really, Freud. I agree with you. But it's the cornerstone. I mean, I think we should be very transparent and to give quite clear concepts of this transferability of credit. So, okay, so thank you very much for your attendance. It was really a pleasure. I hope you can. I really apologize for the problems with the connection. That's my first webinar, I must say, and I think it's the first webinar for all our department. So please, really, I'm really, really sorry because of these problems with the connection.
Angela, thank you so much for your time in presenting today. And I'm so sorry that there's not much we could do with the technical difficulties that occurred today. You did really well to get through them all. We're so glad you came back to us to present and finish off the presentations. You certainly have raised some questions about how the best use of the ECTS credits can be used across Europe. So we hope that has been thought-provoking. UTA has provided an opportunity for all the participants to have a look at the draft toolkit, and we hope that you do take up that opportunity to provide feedback because that hopefully will help you in the long run too. This webinar has been recorded, and the recording will be made available if you would like